Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. All right, it's that time of the year. It's awards season. The Academy Awards are almost upon us for Sunday, March the 12th, and I am ready for it. I cannot wait to see who is going to take home those golden statues. And before that happens, I wanted to come on here and share with you my own personal top 10 favorite Best Picture winners. Of course, the Best Picture category is the most prestigious, most highly coveted award of all the Academy Awards, which is why it's announced at the end of every Academy Awards presentation or show. So I just wanted to come on here and share with you what are my favorite Best Picture winners, going all the way back to the beginning of the Academy Awards. And I want to hear in the comment section what some of your favorite Best Picture winners are as well. Now keep in mind that these are my personal favorites. That's not meant to be some definitive scholarly listing of the greatest films of all time. It's just my own personal favorite of the Best Picture winners that I've seen. The other thing to keep in mind is that this list is fluid. So the top 10 I share with you now, it can change. You know, a month from now, I may feel completely different, and maybe some films that I'm sharing with you now might drop off. I may put some other films in there, and depending on the results that come out on Sunday, March the 12th, who knows what bearing that will have on my listing as well. So it's a fluid list, as I would imagine your list is as well. So as you see more films, you see more Best Picture winners. I haven't seen all the Best Picture winners, so the more of those that I see, that's going to evolve my list over the years. But for now, this is my top 10 favorite Best Picture winners of all time. Now, before I get into that, I want to just mention a couple of things. Of course, the Academy Award nominees were announced on January the 24th. And of course, that happened, I guess, a few weeks ago. And the 95th Academy Awards is going to be broadcast on Sunday, March the 12th. So it's coming up really soon as of the time I'm recording this video. Of course, depending on when you watched it, it may have already passed and you may already know who the winners are. But as of right now, it is about a week away. And there are 10 Best Picture nominees this year. So I've seen 3 of them. So let me just read to you the Best Picture nominees for 2023. And then I'll get into my top 10 favorites that I have in this nice mad stack over here. So Academy Award for Best Picture. Who are the nominees for 2023? Here they are. Top Gun Maverick. So Top Gun Maverick is one of those ones that I've seen this year. I actually have it on physical media. This is a great film. I don't need to tell you how amazing this film is, this Top Gun Maverick. You know, when this movie was first announced, I was very skeptical about this movie. I thought, you know what? Why are they doing this? It's been 30 plus years since the original Top Gun. There's no way this could be successful. Proved me totally wrong. This film was amazing. Incredible film. I don't expect it to win Best Picture, but it's a great film. Women Talking. Another film I have not seen this one, but Women Talking, Frances McDormand and Dee Dee Gardner are the producers. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, one of my favorite films from last year. This got an Oscar nomination for Best Picture, as well as several other nominations. The Banshees of Inisherin. I have not seen that yet, but looking forward to seeing that film. Triangle of Sadness is another film that I'm looking forward to seeing. I believe it has Woody Harrelson in it. This is also getting a Criterion 4K release coming up pretty soon. So I plan to pick that up and give a review on this channel. So let me know if you've seen Triangle of Sadness, as well as any of these Best Picture nominees. Let me know what you think of this year's Best Picture nominees. The Fabelmans, Steven Spielberg, Tony Kushner, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, the long-awaited sequel to the original Avatar film, James Cameron's masterpiece. This is Avatar, The Way of Water. So it is coming. It is announced as an Academy Award Best Picture nominee. Elvis is also a nominee for Best Picture. And the last and the 10th nomination is Tar, the film that stars Cate Blanchett. This is the 3rd Best Picture nominee that I've seen, and this is the 4K release of it, and it is phenomenal. Just a great film. There are no bonus features in this release, but you know what you get is you get a great 4K picture. It's a brand new film, so it looks absolutely pristine. And you get a masterful performance from Cate Blanchett in this incredible film. So this is Tar. So these are, of the 10 Oscar nominations for Best Picture, these are the 3 that I have seen this year. Top Gun, Maverick, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Tar. Let me know in the comments section which films you have seen that have been nominated for 2023 for Best Picture. And let me know what some of your favorites are and what you think about these movies. Of course, this time of the year, I find myself in catch-up mode, trying to catch up on these films that have been nominated. I don't think I'm going to be able to see all of them before March the 12th, but let me know if you have seen all of them or which ones you've seen and what your favorites are. So those are this year's nominations. Now, I want to get to my personal favorites, and I'm going to start off with some honorable mentions. So I've got some honorable mentions that I'm going to name, and then I'm going to get into my top 10. So let's go. I've got a stack of honorable mentions here, and I will start off with the Best Picture winner from 2008 from director Catherine Bigelow, and it is The Hurt Locker. This stars Jeremy Renner and Anthony Mackie before they became Avengers, before the Marvel films, and just a wonderful, wonderful film from Catherine Bigelow that I love. Best wishes and prayers go out to Jeremy Renner and his family for his full and complete recovery. He had a terrible accident about a couple of months ago, put him in the hospital, and I just pray for him to have a full recovery. But wonderful performance by him and Anthony Mackie, and great direction from Catherine Bigelow in The Hurt Locker. That's an honorable mention. Another honorable mention is featured up here on this screen. This is the menu for Birdman. This incredible film. The actual title is Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. This is from Alejandro G. Inarritu. Stars Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton got an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Did not win it that year. I think Eddie Redmayne may have won that year, but this is a great film. Love this film. It has sort of a gimmick, if you would, of it being shot in one take, so to speak. It makes, the way they presented this film, it makes it look like it's all in one continuous take, although you know it's not the case. You see where certain things were cut, but it makes it look like it's all done in one take. Great film. The other honorable mention, Schindler's List. Incredible film, incredible movie. Of course, it stars Liam Neeson, Steven Spielberg, one of his greatest films, arguably his best film. And just an amazing, amazing film about Oskar Schindler, who saved, hundreds of Jews who were in captivity in concentration camps, and saved them from being killed. Wonderful, wonderful film. This is not a film that I can watch very often. It's pretty deep and heavy, but it's an absolute masterpiece of a film from Steven Spielberg about a very important subject matter. So Schindler's List. And then, of course, I don't have a physical copy of How Green Was My Valley, but it won Best Picture in 1941. And, I've seen it recently, and it is a really, really, really good film. The unfortunate thing about How Green Was My Valley is the fact that is known more for being the film that beat out this film right here for Best Picture in 1941, Citizen Kane. Now, Citizen Kane, this is the 4K Criterion release. It came out in 1941. And a lot of people would argue that Citizen Kane should have won Best Picture over How Green Was My Valley. Now, I love this movie, Citizen Kane. It is phenomenal. I think it is better than How Green Was My Valley, but I can't sit here and say that I absolutely believe that this film, Citizen Kane, should have won Best Picture over How Green Was My Valley. Having seen the movie, How Green Was My Valley, I gotta be honest, I think it's a really good film, and I think it was a worthy Best Picture winner. If it were up to me, I would have gone with this, but I can't really fault the Academy for awarding Best Picture to How Green Was My Valley. It's a really nice film about, about a group of families in this mining community. And it's just a great family story about trials and tribulations of these families fighting against the big bad corporation, and just the trials and tribulations of being part of a mining community. So I thought it was really good. It had some romance in there, and it worked for me. I think this is a better film overall, but it's trade-offs. Great film all the way around. How Green Was My Valley beat out Citizen Kane. This is an older edition of it. Another honorable mention is All About Eve, this wonderful film starring Bette Davis, Ann Baxter, George Sanders, and Celeste Holm. This is the Criterion edition. Amazing film that I absolutely love. Now, what year is this? 1950. This film beat out another notable film from Billy Wilder, Sunset Boulevard. So these are two masterpiece films. This one won Best Picture. This one was beat out for Best Picture, but they're two amazing films that I highly recommend watching from 1950. There are no losers. They're just great films and somebody has to win, you know? Another honorable mention is this film right here from Clint Eastwood, $1 Million Baby. Great film. Love this movie. And then another wonderful film, My Fair Lady. This is one of the best catalog 4K releases on the home video market right now. This is a 1964 film, and this film looks so amazing on 4K Ultra HD, I cannot even begin to tell you. This won 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Audrey Hepburn, Rex Harrison, amazing movie. And it looks phenomenal on that 4K. And then the last honorable mention is a movie that I think is probably one of the best pictures of all time. It came out in 1980 from director Bob Clark, and it's Porky's. This is one of the greatest. Anyway, just kidding. Want to make sure you're paying attention that Porky's did not win Best Picture. So, all right, those are my honorable mentions. Now let's switch gears and let's get into my top 10. I've got them right here. I'm going to go from 10 down to number 1. I got a little bit to say about each one of these films. And then I want to hear from you. What do you think? What is your top 10 favorites? So just what are some of your favorite Best Picture winners? And what do you think about these films that I'm about to name? So let's jump right into it. At number 10 is a film that stars Marlon Brando. It's directed by Elia Kazan. And just one of the greatest films of all time. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Marlon Brando, On the Waterfront. This is from 1954. Just an amazing film. This came out, I believe, a couple years after Streetcar Named Desire, that Marlon Brando starred in, along with 3 other co-stars who all were nominated and won acting awards. He was nominated, did not win an acting award for that movie, but he did win Best Actor for this film, and this film won Best Picture, On the Waterfront. It's one of the greatest films of all time and one of my absolute favorite Best Picture winners. Comes in a spine 647 in the Criterion Collection, and a nice digipack. On the Waterfront. At number 9 comes my favorite director of all time's only Academy Award for Best Picture. Now, he didn't win the award. The producer, it goes to the producer, but it's his only directed film that won an Academy Award, and that's Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca. An amazing, amazing film. This stars Laurence Olivier and Joan Fontaine. Just a fantastic film. It is so wonderful. A mysterious, dark, amazing Gothic tale from 1940. This is one of Alfred Hitchcock's earliest films in America. He started his career in Britain, making films in England. He came to the United States and worked with David L. Selznick, and this was one of his early films, Rebecca, along with Foreign Correspondent. This film won Best Picture in 1940. Foreign Correspondent also came out that same year. Of course, Laurence Olivier played Mr. De Winter in this movie. He starred along with Joan Fontaine. Laurence Olivier also played in a film 36 years later that I recently reviewed on this channel, Marathon Man. So it's really cool to see Laurence Olivier playing in this film here, you know, playing the creepy war criminal, and seeing him play in that earlier role in Rebecca. So I thought that was cool. Coming in at number 8 is this amazing film right here. Wait a minute. Is that number 8? Yeah. Number 8 is Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. What an amazing film. One of the greatest films of all time, and number 8 on my list. This came out in 1992, so I want to keep my date straight. Just an amazing film from Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman. You got Gene Hackman in here. You got Ed Harris. I'm sorry, Richard Harris, excuse me. Amazing film. And how many awards did it win? It won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Still have my Walmart sticker on here. But anyway, that's Unforgiven. At number 7 is a film from Robert Zemeckis. I remember seeing this in theaters. It is an absolutely hilarious movie. I am so glad this won Best Picture. It included Lieutenant Dan and Jenny. This is Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks won his 2nd Oscar for Best Acting in a row after winning for Philadelphia. I think he won for Philadelphia first and then this film, where it may be reversed, I don't know. But he won twice in a row for Philadelphia and this film. And this is just one of the greatest films of all time. It won 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. So that's Forrest Gump. Amazing film. I just love the characters in Forrest Gump. I love the way the story is written. I love how Forrest Gump is integrated in so many different significant acts of history. And they do it in really funny ways. And I just really love it. I mean, he played football for the University of Alabama. He served in Vietnam. He met presidents of the United States. He had a pretty incredible life. And I love his relationship with Lieutenant Dan and Jenny and his mom, played by Sally Field. It's just one of the greatest films of all time. At number 6 comes a film that's part of this amazing trilogy that came out on 4K last year, the Godfather trilogy. And I'm going with The Godfather Part 2. That is one of the greatest films of all time. Of course, it is one of the only sequels, or maybe the only sequel, that won Best Picture. Is that true? Check me in the comments. But it is just an amazing film. This is an amazing set, by the way. These films look great on 4K Ultra HD. The Godfather Part 2 is my pick for among my favorites of Best Picture winners. Just an amazing story. I love the narrative structure of The Godfather Part 2 and going deep into the past life of Vito Corleone, and then also at the same time seeing the life of Michael Corleone as he's rising. Just an amazingly written and put together narrative, the way they did those dual stories. You have Al Pacino and Robert De Niro both in this film, but they're not on screen together. They're sort of following separate storylines, but they're all kind of related as part of the same family. And it's just amazing. Just a very well put together film. That's from 1974. So that's number 10 to number 6. Now we're in my top 5. Just keeping myself straight, looking at my notes here. At number 5, we have this amazing film. Billy Wilder is one of my favorite directors of all time. And one of his films from 1960 won Best Picture, starring Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and Fred MacMurray, The Apartment. I love this film. This is on a 4K release from Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber's been killing it. And this is an amazing release. This film looks so nice on 4K. And this film is just so good. Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, Fred MacMurray, they are wonderful in this movie. I mean, if you have not seen The Apartment, if you have this and it's sitting on your shelf and it's collecting dust, you need to pull it off your shelf right now, dust it off, and pop it in your player and watch it. It is so good. Billy Wilder's films are so well written. And while I'm telling you to go watch something, I need to finish watching this one from Billy Wilder, The Lost Weekend. This film won Best Picture in 1945. It's not in my top 10 list because I haven't finished watching it yet. But this is another Billy Wilder film that won Best Picture, and it won 15 years prior in 1945. So I've seen a good portion of it, but I keep falling asleep. So it's not because the film is bad. I guess I'm watching it too late at night. But this stars Ray Milland and Jane Wyman. I need to just pop this in the player again from the beginning and play The Lost Weekend. So there, yeah, that's number 5. At number 4, this is going to be an interesting one here because, you know, I went to the airport just tonight, just got back in, and you know, on the way, I stopped at a Best Buy because I didn't have a physical copy of my number 4 favorite Best Picture winner, which is Rocky, the first Rocky film. And so I thought that I resolved that by picking up this Rocky the Knockout collection. But I find myself in a little bit of a dilemma because I don't know if I'm going to hold on to this, you know, because I went over to Blu-ray.com and started reading the review and wasn't really liking what I was reading. So it's kind of making me wonder, do I need to return this and maybe get the separate first Rocky film steelbook? Maybe I need to just return this and wait for that more complete collection with all 6 films, which includes 5 and 6. That's my dilemma. I'm definitely leaning toward returning this and just getting the Rocky steelbook. But let me know what you all think in the comment section. But Rocky is one of my favorite Best Picture winners. It is a masterpiece of a film. It's a film that has an incredible story in terms of how it ultimately got made. It was a passion project. That theme song is a song that will stick with you. And even if you've never seen Rocky, when you hear that music, you know what it's associated with. It's just an amazing story of perseverance. And that first movie, Rocky, it is so heartfelt in terms of how Rocky and Adrian, how their relationship begins, and all the more poignant in the later films and going into Creed. It really harkens back to the beginning of that beautiful story. So anyway, Rocky is my number 4. Now, down to my top 3. These are my top 3 favorite Best Picture winners. So let's go. The next film in my list is a film that is in distinguished company. It is a film from 1991 from director Jonathan Demme, and it is The Silence of the Lambs. This film stars Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, and Scott Glenn in a powerhouse of a film. Just an amazing film. It's not really a horror film. It's more of a suspense thriller type of a film, but it's just an amazing film. It's an adaptation of a novel from Thomas Harris. Of course, you have Anthony Hopkins, who's playing Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal the cannibal. He's a psychologist who is a cannibal, and he is locked up, and he's helping Clarice Starling, who is played by Jodie Foster. She's an FBI agent trying to hunt down a serial killer. And so she's working with this serial killer to find another serial killer. But this is an amazing film. This film is in special company because it is of only 3 films that have won the top 5 Academy Awards for Best Picture, Director, Actor, Actress, and Original Screenplay. Only 3 films in cinema history have won all 5 of those awards. The Silence of the Lambs is one of those films from 1991. The other 2 films that won those top 2 Oscars are 1976, One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and 1934, It Happened One Night. So these 3 films here are in their own league in terms of Oscar and cinematic history. They are the only 3 films that have won the top 5 or swept the top 5 Academy Awards of Best Picture, Director, Actor, Actress, Original Screenplay. And The Silence of the Lambs is my number 3 Oscar winner for Best Picture of all time. Love this movie. Such an amazing movie. All right, down to the last 2. And this one here is a film that won for Best Picture a few years ago. It is the very first international language film to win Best Picture. And when I first saw this movie, I was so blown away. And I've owned this film on 3 different formats. On Blu-ray when it first came out, on 4K, and then Criterion released it. And it is none other than Parasite from Bong Joon-ho. This South Korean film is an absolute masterpiece. Love this movie. If you have not seen Parasite, definitely check it out. This is the 4K edition. This is the Criterion edition, spine number 1054. And it is absolutely a knockout of a film. I love this movie. So good. So good. I think the more I see of Bong Joon-ho's filmography, the more I love his films, including Okja that came out on 4K from Criterion last year. Amazing film. And even more amazing 4K picture. It looks so good on that 4K disc. But I absolutely love this film, Parasite. So good. I love this family here on the back, how they play games with the rich family. And it's just such an intricate, beautiful film. Looks great on this 4K disc. Also looks great on this Criterion edition as well. And this Criterion edition has the black and white version as well. So, amazing film, Parasite. And then there was one. So there can only be one number one on my list, and it is my absolute favorite Best Picture winner of all time for now. And I want to hear what you all think in the comment section. It is none other than a film from the Coen brothers from 2007 starring Tommy Lee Jones, Javier Bardem, and Josh Brolin, Thanos. And it is No Country for Old Men. This is the film from 2007, directed by the Coen brothers, and it is an absolute powerhouse of a film. It is a neo-Western type film. It is an extraordinary film, such an amazing film. This film is in the same style of a film that came out a few years ago called Hell or High Water, that stars Jeff Bridges and Chris Pine and Ben Foster. That is really good as well. I was really blown away by that movie. I like it almost as much as this film, but not quite. This film is a masterpiece, and the performance from Javier Bardem is one of the greatest performances of all time. He won Best Supporting Actor as well as this film winning Best Picture, and his portrayal of Anton Chigurh is one of the most chilling, impressive performances of a villain on screen that I have ever seen. I mean, he is electric in this movie, and this film is cinematic gold. Tommy Lee Jones is great. Josh Brolin is great. You have Woody Harrelson in here as well. This is a masterpiece of a film, and it is my favorite Best Picture of all time. Now, all I need is this to come out on 4K. I want to know, is this going to come out on 4K? Does anyone know anything about whether or not we're going to get a 4K release of this film in 2023? So whenever this film is announced for 4K, whether it's for Criterion or anyone else, I am going to lose it because this film needs a 4K Ultra HD release. This is 2007's No Country for Old Men from the Coen brothers, and it is my number one personal favorite Best Picture winner of all time. So there you have it. These are my Best Picture favorite films right here. I have this whole stack that I am inelegantly showing up here. You'll see my Best Picture winner favorites of all time. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your favorite Best Picture winners of all time? And also let me know, of the 10 Best Picture nominees for 2023, which ones are your favorites? Which film do you want to see take home that statue for Best Picture? And what are some of your other, people that you're pulling for in the acting categories and the directing categories? Let me know what your wish is for winners for this coming Academy Awards ceremony. Let me know all that stuff in the comment section below. Also, I'm sorry, I'm not done yet. I had one last thing before I let you go. I wanted to share with you a couple of Oscar what-ifs or Oscar wishes. And these are a couple of films that I... Okay, that's my Apple Watch Siri there. Sorry about that. These are a couple of films that I wish had won Best Picture but didn't. So I'll share those with you real quickly. The first is in 1998, Saving Private Ryan lost out to Shakespeare in Love. I've never seen Shakespeare in Love, so I cannot sit here and say it should have beaten out Shakespeare in Love, but I wish that Saving Private Ryan had won. Of course, prayers to Tom Sizemore's family. We recently lost Tom Sizemore just the other day. So amazing performance by him along with this incredible cast in Saving Private Ryan. And of course, 1985, my personal favorite of Steven Spielberg's films is The Color Purple. The Color Purple is one of the greatest films of all time. One of my absolute top 25 favorites. I really wish it had won Best Picture. It lost to Out of Africa that year. The Color Purple was nominated for 11 Academy Awards, did not win any, but it is an absolute masterpiece of a film, and I wish it had won Best Picture that year. So let me know, in addition to all those other things, let me know what films you wish had won Best Picture in the year that they won, in the year that they didn't win, and what film beat them out. Let me know all that goodness in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.